Imagine a random rich guy walks up to you and starts bragging about his Lamborghini, the paint job, the custom rims, how much attention he gets, and you just stand there nodding, letting him talk, knowing you could buy his entire car collection with just a quarter of your money. There's this quiet satisfaction in that moment that no amount of Instagram likes could ever match. That's stealth wealth. And today, I'm going to show you why looking broke is the most powerful financial strategy nobody's teaching you. Right now, you're probably doing the opposite of what wealthy people do. You're trying to look successful before you actually are successful. New car to show you've made it, designer clothes to prove you have taste, the nice apartment in the good neighborhood because that's what successful people are supposed to have. And every dollar you spend making yourself look rich is a dollar you're not using to actually become rich. You're playing dress up with your financial future, and the costume is expensive. Meanwhile, the people who are actually wealthy, you'd walk right past them at the grocery store and never know they could buy the whole building. I'm going to break down exactly why looking broke is a strategic advantage, show you what actually happens when you stop trying to impress people, and give you the framework to use this strategy yourself. Because here's what most people don't understand. Every billionaire you've heard of has mastered this. Warren Buffett lives in a house he bought in 1958. Mark Zuckerberg drives a Honda. Jeff Bezos drove a Honda Accord even when Amazon was worth billions. This isn't random. It's not about being cheap. It's a calculated strategy that protects and accelerates wealth. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use it. Let's start with the most obvious reason looking broke is strategic. It protects your money from everyone who wants to take it.
The moment you start looking wealthy, you become a target. And I'm not just talking about criminals, though that's part of it. I'm talking about everyone in your life suddenly seeing you as an ATM. Your cousin who never calls suddenly remembers you exist and needs help with rent. Your friend from college slides into your DMs with a business opportunity that requires investment. Your family starts expecting you to pick up every dinner tab because you can afford it. Your mechanic quotes you higher prices because clearly you have money to spend. Your real estate agent shows you properties at the top of your budget because your watch tells them you won't negotiate hard. This is what I call the visibility tax, and it's real. Studies show that when you display wealth, you pay 15 to 40% more for the exact same services. Same haircut, different price because you drove up in a nice car. Same car repair, different quote because you're wearing expensive clothes. But it goes deeper than just paying more. When you look wealthy, people start making assumptions about what you owe them. Your success becomes their opportunity, and suddenly you're spending mental energy managing expectations, dodging requests, and explaining why you can't fund everyone's problems. Compare this to looking broke. When you drive a 10-year-old car and wear normal clothes, nobody knows what you have. Your cousin doesn't ask for money because they assume you're in the same boat they are. Your friends don't pitch you their startup because they think you're struggling too. Your family doesn't expect you to subsidize their lifestyle because, as far as they can tell, you're just getting by.
This isn't about being selfish or uncaring. It's about controlling who knows about your resources so you can help people strategically instead of reactively. You can still be generous. You just get to choose when, how, and with whom. That control is worth more than any status symbol. And here's the part that really makes this a strategy. Every dollar you save from not looking wealthy can be invested. Let's do the math. Say you avoid the nice car payment of $800 a month by driving something reliable and paid off. That's $9,600 per year. Invested at 10% returns, that's $164,000 over 10 years. You just turned your broke car into a down payment on a rental property. But you also avoided higher insurance on the fancy car. That's another $1,200 a year saved. You avoided the visibility tax on services, another $2,000 a year. You avoided the requests from family and friends, conservatively another $3,000 a year. That's $15,800 annually in avoided costs, which compounds to over $270,000 in a decade. You didn't just save money. You saved money that made more money, and nobody even knew you were wealthy enough to spend differently in the first place. But the financial protection is just the surface level. The real power of looking broke is psychological, and it works in ways most people never consider.
First, there's the underestimation advantage. When you look ordinary, people underestimate you, and being underestimated is a superpower in negotiation, business, and investing. Your competition isn't watching you because you don't look like a threat. Your business rivals don't see you coming because your office is modest and your car is forgettable. Your negotiating counterpart assumes you don't have options because you're not projecting wealth. This gives you information advantage, negotiating leverage, and competitive edge that flashy people never get. I've watched this play out in real estate deals where the investor wearing the Rolex gets aggressive counteroffers because the seller assumes they can pay more. Meanwhile, the investor in jeans and a normal car gets the motivated seller price because the seller thinks they're offering a favor to someone who needs a deal. Same thing happens in business partnerships. The flashy entrepreneur gets pitched inflated valuations because everyone assumes they have money to waste. The understated entrepreneur gets realistic deals because their partners assume they're careful with capital. Second, there's freedom from your own ego. This is the part nobody talks about, but it's massive. When you look broke, you're free from the exhausting performance of maintaining appearances. You know what's expensive? Not the actual luxury items, though those cost plenty. What's really expensive is the lifestyle escalation that comes with them. You buy the nice car, so now you need to live in a neighborhood where that car makes sense. You move to that neighborhood, so now you need to dress the part. You dress the part, so now you need to vacation where those people vacation. You vacation there, so now your kids need to go to private school to keep up with the friend group. It's a runaway train of spending where each luxury purchase creates social pressure for the next one. And before you know it, you're trapped in what looks like success, but feels like a hamster wheel. Compare this to looking broke. You drive whatever works. You live where the value is good. You dress comfortably. You vacation where you actually want to go, not where you need to be seen. You're free from the performance, and that freedom is worth more than the status.
Third, and this is my favorite part, looking broke filters your relationships. The people who stick around when you look ordinary are the people who actually value you. Everyone else was just networking. When you look wealthy, you never know why people are in your life. Do they like you or do they like your resources? Are they your friend or are they positioning for opportunity? This uncertainty creates paranoia that successful people talk about constantly. You start questioning everyone's motives. But when you look broke, the people in your life chose to be there for reasons other than your money. Your friends are actual friends. Your romantic partner loves you, not your bank account. Your business relationships are based on mutual value, not one-sided benefit. You get to build authentic connections instead of transactional ones. And later, when you eventually do share your wealth on your terms with people you trust, it's from a position of confidence rather than vulnerability. You know exactly who deserves to be in the inner circle because they proved it before they knew there was wealth to access. But here's where looking broke becomes truly strategic. It accelerates wealth building in ways that have nothing to do with saving money. When you're not spending mental energy on appearances, you redirect that energy toward opportunities. Your brain isn't thinking, how do I look successful? It's thinking, how do I become more successful? That cognitive shift is subtle but powerful. The person obsessing over which luxury watch to buy is not the person identifying undervalued investment opportunities. The person agonizing about their social media aesthetic is not the person building actual businesses. The person maintaining the appearance of wealth is too busy performing to actually build wealth.
Looking broke gives you focus. You're not distracted by status games because you're not playing them. You're not comparing yourself to what other people have because you've opted out of the comparison altogether. You're just quietly building while everyone else is busy broadcasting. This also creates what I call stealth compound effect. When nobody knows you're accumulating wealth, nobody is tracking your progress or competing with you. You're not inspiring copycats. You're not triggering competitive responses. You're not creating FOMO in your social circle that leads to dumb spending. You're just steadily, quietly compounding money, skills, relationships, and opportunities while everyone else is distracted by the performance of wealth. And compounding works best when it's left alone to do its thing without interference. There's also a humility factor that's hard to quantify but incredibly valuable. When you look broke, you stay connected to normal life. You understand what things actually cost. You empathize with people's financial struggles. You don't develop the out-of-touch wealthy person syndrome where $100 feels like pocket change and you lose your ability to evaluate value. This keeps you sharp. You don't overpay for things because you still care about value. You don't make careless financial decisions because you're still conscious of money. You don't get lazy about your wealth management because you haven't surrounded yourself with luxury that makes you complacent.
The wealthy person who lives modestly stays hungry. The wealthy person who looks wealthy gets comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of continued growth. All right, so how do you actually implement the strategy? Because I'm not suggesting you dress in rags and pretend to be homeless. Looking broke is strategic, not performative. Here's the framework. Rule number 1, separate net worth from appearance. Your bank account and your wardrobe should have no correlation. You can have $500,000 invested while driving an $8,000 car and wearing $50 jeans. These things are completely unrelated. The only connection between them is the one society taught you to make, and you're now choosing to unmake it. Buy what's functional and comfortable. Ignore what's impressive and expensive. Your goal is to be invisible in terms of wealth signaling, not sloppy, not impressive, just normal. Rule number 2, pick 1 or 2 quality items, keep everything else average. This is the Warren Buffett approach. Have 1 really good suit for when you need it, have 1 quality watch that's understated, but your daily driver car, average. Your everyday clothes, normal. Your home, comfortable but not showpiece. This lets you code switch when necessary for business while maintaining stealth mode for daily life. You're not sacrificing opportunity. You're just being strategic about when you signal wealth. Rule number 3, live in a neighborhood 1 or 2 tiers below what you can afford. If you can afford the luxury high-rise downtown, live in the nice but normal neighborhood instead. You'll save 30 to 50% on housing costs, avoid the lifestyle inflation that comes with wealthy neighbors, and maintain stealth. Plus, your money goes further when you're not competing with high-income neighbors for the same resources. Rule number 4, drive vehicles based on utility, not image. The reliable Toyota or Honda is not a punishment, it's a strategic choice. It costs less to buy, less to insure, less to maintain, less to fuel, and signals nothing about your wealth. That's exactly what you want. If you need a truck for actual work, buy a work truck. If you need to haul kids, buy a practical SUV. But make decisions based on function, not status. Rule number 5, never flex on social media. This is non-negotiable. The moment you start posting your wins, your purchases, your lifestyle on social media, you've blown your stealth advantage. You've invited comparison, competition, requests, and judgment. Keep your wealth off the internet. Your actual friends know your situation. Everyone else doesn't need to. Rule number 6, be selectively generous, not publicly generous. You can absolutely help people, donate to causes, and be charitable. Just do it privately. Don't announce it. Don't make it performative. Don't let it become expected. Help specific people in specific situations and keep it between you and them. This maintains your stealth while allowing you to use your resources meaningfully. Rule number 7, create a money story that's boring. When people ask how you're doing, the answer is always, good, staying busy, keeping the bills paid. That's it. You're not struggling, you're not thriving, you're just fine. This deflects curiosity without lying. People don't probe further because the story is too boring to warrant follow-up questions. Here's what happens when you commit to looking broke while building wealth. You create a gap between perception and reality that becomes your strategic moat. Your friends think you're in the same financial position they are, so they treat you as a peer instead of a target. Your family thinks you're doing okay but not great, so they don't expect you to solve their problems.
Your coworkers think you're just another employee, so they don't resent your success or try to compete with you. Your neighbors think you're normal, so they don't judge your choices or try to keep up with you. Meanwhile, you're quietly building real wealth. You're maxing out retirement accounts, you're investing in index funds, you're buying rental properties with the money you saved by not looking impressive. You're building businesses without the pressure of maintaining appearances. You're compounding money, opportunities, and advantages that nobody sees coming. And one day, maybe in 10 years, maybe in 20, you'll have enough wealth that you genuinely don't care what anyone thinks. At that point, you can choose to stay low-key because you actually prefer it, or you can upgrade your lifestyle because you want to, not because you need to prove anything. The choice becomes truly yours because you built your wealth in secret. This is the ultimate power of looking broke. You buy yourself time and space to build real wealth without interference, judgment, or pressure. You opt out of status competition while everyone else burns money trying to win it. And you do all of this with a quiet confidence that the flashy people never develop because they're too busy performing. Remember that feeling I described at the beginning? The guy bragging about his Lamborghini while you're standing there knowing you could buy his whole collection? That feeling is better than actually driving the Lamborghini. Because when you drive the Lamborghini, you're constantly aware of it. You're watching for door dings. You're taking photos for Instagram. You're checking if people are looking. You're thinking about the payment. You're worried about maintenance costs. You're performing wealth. But when you're standing there in your normal clothes, driving your normal car, knowing you have the resources but choosing not to display them, that's power. That's control. That's freedom. You're not performing for anyone. You're not seeking validation. You're not comparing yourself to others. You're just existing in your own secure reality while everyone else is caught up in appearances. That quiet confidence, the knowledge that you could but you're choosing not to, is the actual wealth. The money is just the tool that gives you the choice. But the choice to look broke while being wealthy is where the real satisfaction lives. And here's the beautiful irony. The more you embrace looking broke, the faster you actually become wealthy. Because you're not wasting money on appearances. You're not distracted by status games. You're not dealing with the visibility tax. You're just focused on building real value while everyone else is busy looking valuable. So here's your challenge. For the next 90 days, make every spending decision as if nobody will ever see it. Buy the functional option instead of the impressive option. Drive the reliable car instead of the impressive car. Wear the comfortable clothes instead of the designer clothes. Live in the good enough neighborhood instead of the impressive neighborhood. Track how much money you save. Track how much mental energy you free up. Track how your relationships shift. And most importantly, track how it feels to opt out of the status competition while everyone else is running the race. Because looking broke isn't about being broke. It's about being so secure in your actual wealth that you don't need anyone else to know about it. And that security, that's the strategy most people never get. I'll see you in the next one.